Okay, start out simple. What is depression?
Depression is you're just really down, eh? It's rooted. It can be rooted in your nervous system, eh? It's like a dysregulated nervous system, eh? You could look at it different ways, eh? Um, I'm really down. What is depression? I'm really down. I'm disconnected from people. I'm all alone. You know, I don't let other people into my life, and it causes me to be very down and depressed. Eh? Can it be genetic? Yes, it can also be genetic. Eh? There is a genetic predisposition. Eh?
Hmm.
But can it be genetic? Can it be trauma? Can it be there can be different explanations to depression. Eh? And the ultimate end result of depression would be suicide. And the social isolation, the
And
hopelessness.
sorry,
Go ahead.
what are the symptoms and how does it affect one's life?
Well, how I would say if somebody's depressed, like I would be concerned. Everybody has depression, eh? But what I'm concerned with depression is people that don't function anymore. They don't go to work. They don't leave the house. And maybe secretly all they think about is killing them. They secretly want to commit suicide, and there's maybe the only reason they don't do it is because they have children, or they have religious beliefs, eh? But yeah, so they stop functioning. That's that would be the red flag to depression, eh? Yeah.
And how is it treated?
Well, now okay, like you have like balances and checks in life. Eh? Like I say, we all have depression, eh? But like really, you want to go to the core of it, eh? And like the how do we get better? I need to be back in with other people. I need to be talking to other people. I need to be in with other people. I need to be social. I need to be expressing myself in a meaningful way with other people. And when I do that, the depression will lift. However, sometimes people need medication, okay? Because they're so like they can't do it. They just can't have to do it, and it's rooted in fear too. It's rooted in fear, eh? Fear. Nobody wants to hear me. Nobody wants to hear me babbling about my life or something. But anyways, they have so much. They can't interact with people. So sometimes the medication, lifts them up enough so they can start socially engaging, eh? And then once they start socially engaging, they get better, okay?
Is there a physiological element, or is it all, or mental, or what's sort of the balance?
The
Or
balance?
is it both?
It's both, eh? Yeah, it's,
How do you know when medication is the right answer?
I'll be here talking to somebody, and it's just like they won't budge. They won't budge. They're just so stuck where they're at. Eh? They're such in depression. They can't take action. Eh? And that's the sign to mental illness. They come in here, but to take any kind of action or to be in with people, it's overwhelming to them. They can't do it. They can't go to groups. They can't function with other people. So like it's like the medication, and there's some good meds out there. Eh? It's it lifts them up enough to get the right mix, eh? Of like, yeah, you got to have some relaxation, but you don't want to be in depression. You got to have some anxiety, but you want to be in the panic attacks. But if you get that right mix for social engagement, eh? You get that right mix for social engagement, I start making sense to me, eh? And then I move on. That's how our minds work, eh? But if I don't have any connection with people, I'm at a real handicap, eh? I believe things that aren't true. I stay stuck in depression. I can stay stuck in depression because I think like this is the only thing I could do. I can't talk to people. I have all kinds of excuses. But like I say, but it's rooted in fear. It's all rooted in fear. Eh? It's fear-based. I'm not going to talk to that person because I don't want to. But really, it's fear. Eh? Then depression. Fear first, then anxiety. Fear first, then freeze. It's all rooted. You could track it in the autonomic nervous system, and it's like, but like I say, trying to get that right mix of relaxation and anxiety to socially engage. So I make sense to me, and then I move on. That's how we process information, and we store it into long-term memory. And then I could say, well, I used to have a problem with depression. Okay?
So you're saying if you can get a patient to socialize and be social, is that sort of the first step towards getting better? That's the main thing.
But you know what it is too, on top of that?
Mm-hmm.
It's like how much pain and how fed up are they with being the way they are, okay? I mean, like surrendering the way I'm doing things. The way I'm doing things is not working. And is that enough? Have I experienced enough pain to surrender doing it my way, okay? And letting it's like I'm just another person. And my job is to get you back out and in with people, but I'm just another person. But can me and that client, make an agreement or a contract to take steps, to get better, eh? But he has to surrender doing it his way. If people that come in and say, this is my life is great, and I want you to make it work. This is how I want to see things go, and I want you to make that work. And it's like, I can't do that, because the way you do things is, it doesn't work. It never has worked. It never will work, eh? And I have to surrender. But with that comes all this fear, all this insecurity, eh? And it's like I say, that's a trigger to people that have mental illness. They cannot take any stress whatsoever. It just causes them to shut down, eh? So that's where the meds come in. But not everybody needs meds either. Just some people do, depending on how depressed they are, eh? Some people, it's like, why would you feel good? Your whole life's been a disaster, It's like, you shouldn't feel good. You should feel depressed, And it's like, but let me help you, and and sometimes it's just a little bit of advice, eh? People get better. They start, they get a little tiny bit better. And it's like, I like this. This is good. I have groups in my office, eh? That's why my office is based in groups, for that reason. Even if I just plant the idea about talking to other people in a meaningful way, eh? We can talk to other people, but never in a meaningful way, eh? And so once I get onto this, and I start feeling better, then it's like, yeah, I like this. I want to do this, eh? Then they're here every week. But to get them to come here, man, it's hard. All the excuses in the book, But once they get here, and the people that are here instinctually know how to be there for each other, right? I'm part of, and that's biological. The vagus nerve, it's a part of our body that it's like we are biologically made to be connected to other people in a meaningful way. It's our biological makeup. Our minds, eh? We process information by human interaction, talking to each other. We actually, the amygdala, we process the information in that part of the brain, and we store it into long-term memory. We're growing and we're learning, eh? So like I say, everybody experiences depression, everybody experiences pain, but do I have the courage to deal with it and learn from it, eh? We all, and that's one thing they don't teach us in the educational system, eh? Learning and growing in and through pain and suffering, we all do. When we're stuck, we need to get help, professional help, just to get us moving again, get us back in the mainstream of things. That's all my job is, eh? Then my job's done.
No man is an island, as they say.
That's right, exactly. It's lonely on top.
Have you seen an increase in people suffering from depression over the past few years, or what do you think the trend is? It's just an ongoing thing.
I think like with Windsor, there's confounders like people lose their jobs, and is it on the increase? I would say maybe in Windsor it'd be on the increase because of the unemployment, high unemployment, and then there's
do you think there is a stigma about mental health and depression in society in general?
Absolutely. Like I tell my clients, if you take meds, don't tell anybody. That's between me and you, or don't even, be careful who you tell that to, right? But it's alcoholism, drug addiction, that's all rooted in mental illness. That's rooted in mental illness. A person who gets, that drinks and gets drunk, that is a mental illness, eh? It's self-destruction, eh? And so is depression, being closed down into myself, being an alcoholic, drinking. There's a part of me that wants to destroy me, eh? And I need to be in with other people, be honest, be able, even deeper than that, it's just being myself, eh? around other people. What's stopping me? And if I was just to be myself around other people, I wouldn't be depressed. You know, because that's how our moods are balanced in and through other people. If I could just be myself with other people, my moods would be stable. I wouldn't. But when I'm isolated and alone, I go down into depression. But then again, there is a genetic. There can be a genetic predisposition to depression too. You know.
My last question is, why do you think that when people hear, you know, someone's suffering from depression or they're taking medication for it, why do you think that there's such a negative response to that?
You're a man, you're a woman, you stand on your own 2 feet. Why don't you just deal with your problems? What are you doing, copping out? You know, you're just in self-pity. Why don't you smarten up? You know, why don't you just smarten up? Get out of the house and go to work or something. You know, it's just very, you know, it's like being oversimplistic, Like, what's behind the behavior, You know, that's just, you know, there's, for every, you know, as bizarre as some behavior is, if you really get down to what's behind it, you don't think that anymore, You know, taking out the time to understand people, And if it's like a clinical depression, that's not easily overcome. And I feel sorry for parents that have kids or, you know, that are like, they're severely depressed, You know, it's like, it's not their fault. It's something, it's genetic, You know, so, but regardless, we all need to be connected in with other people, And we need to get there. We need to make that a goal, you know, and it's hard and it's a struggle sometimes to get there, but it's well worth it in the long run, you know, yeah.
Well, thank you very much.